when I went to go record my first audiobook, I was in the studio, and you have to sit there for, it's really hard. That and I was not prepared. You also have to learn how to do the voices, which I didn't know. So I had to learn how to talk like a girl, but not talk like a girl while you narrate your own book. So that was fun to go, hi, so that made me sound like a fool. And in the studio while I was doing that, there was another author next door, and she was a new author, and she was like so many of us. We were in what the what the publishers in the publishing world were saying to her is, you have to have this account going. You have to have a Facebook, you have to have a Twitter, you have to have an Instagram, you have to have a podcast. I mean, this is what they want. It's not you have to, but they really want you to have your own platform and encourage this. And I watched this girl's career after that, and I felt her angst while we were in that recording studio together. I felt her angst. It was palpable because there was a lot of pressure on her. They were expecting her to be a really big deal, and they were pumping a lot of money into her. And she tried to get all this stuff going, and she failed, and now she's nowhere. Now I can't even find her online because you can't maintain all this stuff. It's social media is still proving itself to be even more toxic than it was. So social media for some reason has been something that is working for me, but I will tell you that the regimen that I use to get to use it is I don't participate in much social media myself. I put it out there, and what happens. I don't monitor it. I don't check it, because about 10 years ago, I noticed that this had the potential to destroy my life, because you can put so much weight on the validation you get from social media. If you're just a normal human being, you'll constantly check it and see. And if they're not responding to it, you'll start to wonder, God, what did I do? And then it will alter how you write. You'll think, well, maybe I need to write something that they will respond to. And eventually what happens is you become part of the algorithm. Your brain becomes part of the algorithm. You figure out what the algorithm's liking, and you start to respond. And next thing you know, you're doing exactly what the computer wants you to do. The computer says, you know what, whenever you write about little puppies and warm fuzzy kittens, the algorithm says, gold star for you. So you're next thing you know, as you're walking through public, you're thinking about little kittens and fuzzy puppies. Of course, the algorithm doesn't really like kittens and fuzzy puppies. It likes horrible things. So then it just destroys your brain. So my thought is, I'll finish that what I'm just saying by talking about Substack. When Substack came along, it was an enormous blessing. I don't know if it will remain that way, but it is now, because it's a neat platform. It's primarily, at the time, at least when I started, I guess 2 years ago, it was all writers, and it was writers. I don't know, it was people who wanted to read. So it was cool. It was really neat. And I noticed that the big names that you would associate with lots of credibility, they didn't have these huge readerships. And so therefore people were free to say things without looking for popularity. I think if you want a footprint in the social media scape, picking one channel and just throwing it out there. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's not what's going to build your writing. Your writing and what you have to say is important because of who you are and who God made you to be. And your only interest, really, when it comes down to it, is not social media, it's people. And if you love people, and if you're talking to people when you write, and in your daily life, when you go buy gas at the grocery store, whatever, if you are constantly people to peopling, then your writing will find a way into these people's lives, into their hearts. It will go where it needs to go. And this is one of those moments where it takes blind trust, I think, when you write something, to just send it out into the universe and say, okay, God, where it's supposed to go, it's going to go. What's going to happen is going to happen with this. And to remove all of the anxiety of where it goes from here, is going to be your job. Your job is to remain calm, remain centered, and not worried about what other external forces are asking you to do. Because right now it's Facebook and Instagram and X and Substack and whatever. Tomorrow it's going to be something else. It's going to be something else. But really, what it boils down to is your voice finding people. And I just believe wholeheartedly that if the more you love people, the more you get out there and find these beautiful relationships, the more your writing will take off. That's so. In short, to summarize what I just horribly said, uh, not social media, socializing. Find
Mm.
find people. Use your words when you can't write. And you see some lady in the gas station. You've got yesterday. I was coming back from Gettysburg with a friend of mine. We drove for 14 hours in the car. My friend, he's such a good human being. He's such a wonderful man. He's 74. He's taken me under his wing. He's like a dad to me. We were in the gas station. This lady who was checking us out, she was just having a terrible day. You could tell. And he stopped and he was like, you know what? I just feel like someone hadn't told you that they really care about you today. And I want you to know that I don't know you, but I really care about you. And he and I kind of joked around with her and tried to get her in a good mood. And by the end, we were all smiling. We walked away and she seemed to be feeling better. And I thought that that is what this is about. The writing is just a way to get to people. Social media is just a way to get to people. It's just a tool. It's just a method. But really what it's about is this.